Hey everyone, welcome to Living Pieces. I'm your host, Ruth. So, welcome back to Living Pieces. Glad to have you wherever you're listening to this episode from. On Living Pieces last time, we spoke about self talk and how we speak to ourselves on a daily basis. We talked about the importance of being aware of the way we speak to ourselves. We talked about how our mind is impressionable and how we wouldn't speak negatively to a child. So, why should we speak negatively to ourselves? If you want to, you can check that episode out on and all the other episodes on any streaming platform and just search Living Pieces and you should be able to find us. So, the reason I talk about that episode is because it kind of ties into this episode, which you see later on. On this episode, we are going to be talking about manifestation. I'm sure you've heard that word at least once. It's all over social media. Manifestation this, manifestation that. I'm manifesting, I'm creating, I'm living in abundance, all that type of like manifestation jazz and, things. So, if I had to explain what manifestation is, I would say it's bringing to life our desires with our thoughts, emotions, and actions. We first have a desire, we think about that desire, we get emotional about that desire, and that moves us into action, also known as inspired action. And this gets us what we desire. That to me is manifestation. However, I'm not sure if you've seen videos online where people think manifestation is just the thinking part. We think about what we want and it shows up. It's not fully incorrect because thinking is involved, but it's not the whole formula. It's just the first step. To manifest correctly, you need more than just your thoughts. But those are important. Those are important. Don't get it wrong. But it's more. There's more to it. So people like to think that manifestation is this woo-woo, spirituality thing because they've been conditioned that way. Their family or church or whoever or whatever they believe in say it's woo. So, and even the word, it sounds woo. So they are conditioned to believe it's this and it's that, woo woo thing. And they don't question it because why should they? Why would the people around them have any motive to lie to them or want to hurt them? So why should they question it? And it's not to, say that people are trying to intentionally lie to them or hurt them. But in a way, we fear what we don't fully understand. So if I don't understand this manifestation thing and you're saying that my mind is what it takes to create my reality and things like that, and traditionally we've been told that no, you have to hustle, then to me that's gonna sound like I'm in new territory and I don't like the way that sounds. So of course I'm gonna try and protect the people around me and let them know, no, don't believe in this manifestation woo stuff because it's like, what the hell? Like, we've seen time and time again that your actions is what creates your reality, not the way you think. But now people are trying to say that it's the way that we think that creates our reality. So it becomes a flip thing where it's like, I don't like that. And I think another thing is that the word trips people up because it sounds woo woo when you think about it, like manifestation. Like when you just say the word, it just sounds, I don't know, it sounds woo woo. Like I'm manifesting, right? And so the definition that and people use and they think is that your mind brings things to life. And so they don't like that because it sounds too beyond us. It also sounds like I can't control my mind, even though we can. But the mind is something that we don't physically see. We know it's there. We know that we all have a mind. We all have thoughts. We all have these things. But my actions, you can see my actions. You can see what I'm doing. You can see whether or not this thing is working, So my two eyes can see the results off of my actions. You know what I mean? So I think that's why people just don't, some people anyway, don't really like the word manifestation. And it just, or the whole concept and the whole idea of manifestation, because it sounds this like crazy mumbo jumbo. I cast a spell, blah, 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 and boom, it's all done, right? But really and truly, manifestation is not just about the mind. It's about understanding that the mind can create as well as our actions. It's about bringing both the thoughts and the actions together, with the emotions being in the middle, and actually being able to bring forth what we want. Because there are some people who hustle, and they still don't get what they want. And then there are people who think, and they don't get what they want. So that goes to show that you can't just think your way out of it, and you can't just action your way out of it. Maybe you could say, well, I'm more likely going to see some results with actions than I would with thinking. And, fair enough if that's the way you want to think about it. But when you bring both together, you get a stronger result because you're thinking about it, you're feeling it. The thinking brings on the feeling. Remember, your thoughts govern your feelings, which govern your actions. So then now you are inspired to do certain actions, because you can do actions all day long and 50% of that action is actually what's going to be successful, and the other 50% you've just done it for the sake of doing it. But when you have inspired action, you're now up in that percentage, and you're now hopefully mainly doing a lot of actions that is useful and will get you to where you want and to your desires a lot faster. At least that's what the hope is, right? So bringing them together, both the thoughts and the actions, and the feeling, that is what I think will help you be successful. And so that's what we're going to basically talk about today. Because when you also think about it, manifestation, a lot of people think it's this, I can't control what happens, but I just, I think a little bit and whatever happens. The chips fall where they may. But manifestation is actually scientific, because when you understand that your brain is complex but works in simple formats, you understand that you have the power to create your reality. And it starts from your thoughts, but there's more to it, because what you're doing is you're creating certain or newer neural pathways in your brain, where your brain is being reconditioned to think and to see certain things. Because here's the thing, everyone can manifest, and everyone actually manifests daily. If you don't want to call it manifestation, cool, you can change the word, you can change the terminology, it's cool, whatever. But whatever you want to call it that makes it easily digestible for you, I'm just going to use manifestation or manifest because that's what we're talking about. But you can change the terminology so it suits you better. But everyone manifests daily. However, what they manifest is due to the conditioning of their mind. So if your mind has been conditioned to view life and to think a certain way, then that's what you will manifest. When you change the condition of your mind, you change what you manifest. That's where you can say like certain things of laws of attraction comes into play, but we'll talk about that later because, we're really talking about manifestation right now. So, but in terms of like law of attraction, you're attracting what you are because you're on the same vibrational and energetic frequency as the thing that you want. So if my mind, the conditioner of my mind is what helps me manifest things, that means I have to be aware of the state in which my mind is for me to know why it is I keep manifesting the things I keep manifesting. Many people are unconscious when they manifest. They don't know that they're manifesting what it is that they're manifesting. They don't know that they're bringing these things into their reality, but they are. We all are. And it's based on the conditioning of our mind. And I'll tell you why. Because think about it. You have the process that I put earlier is a thought, feeling, action. Cool. If you've been conditioned and your brain has been conditioned in a certain way to think that I don't know, that you hate your job. That's, kind of like an easy one. So you hate your job and you think all day, every day about how much you hate your job, how much you hate your boss, how much you hate the fact that you have to commute for long hours, how much you hate the fact that you have to work, how much you hate the fact that you don't like what it is that you're working. You just continuously think this thing, right? Which comes to the whole idea of what I said about self-talk last time, right? Self-talk. You constantly think, oh, I hate this thing, I don't like this thing, and you say these things constantly in your head over and over and over and over again. What happens? You start to feel depressed. You start to feel angry. You start to feel frustrated. Someone does something, you get irritated very quickly. You don't like it. You're like, oh, you get annoyed by things. You snap a lot more. You snap easily because you're like, you just hate life. But what those things are, those are feelings. You feel frustrated about the state and the condition that you're in. So then what happens after that? You continue to create actions that make you live in this cycle. So you still wake up, begun. I don't even know what I was trying to say there, but you still wake up in a state of despair. You're sad, you're angry, whatever, but you feel like, oh, I have to get up, I have to go out, I have to do whatever it is that I need to do. I have to pay my bills and to pay for this car and to pay for this item and to pay for this thing. Otherwise, I'll lose everything. And so because I have to do all of that, I need to just stick to it. I need to just keep living this life. Okay, cool. So then you then go to work and you continue the same actions daily, day in, day out. You're with your same managers that are giving you stress, your same workers, people who work alongside you. They annoy you daily. They do little things that frustrates you. You get angry. You repeat the same cycle. And then what happens is what you're attracting is more of these things. What you're manifesting is more of that. That's what you're saying because that's what your brain has been conditioned to understand. That is all you know. But the thing is, you don't like it, but yet you don't do anything about it. Maybe because unconsciously you don't know how to do anything about it, right? But now, hopefully, by listening to this episode, to this podcast, you can start to begin to see what it is that you can do about it to be able to change that. Last time we spoke about changing your thoughts, because that's where it does start from. Changing your thoughts is important because when you change your thoughts, it will trickle down to your feelings. Maybe not at first, maybe take some time because you've been thinking and you've been conditioned in a certain way. Remember the tank analogy that we talked about? The tank is your mind and the water is the things that the way that you've been conditioned, basically, right? So you have to change the conditioning of your mind, which would then change the appearance and then you start manifesting what it is that you want. So that's why it's actually there's also like a scientific reasoning behind it all, because our minds, our thoughts are, there's a thing where it's like when you have one negative thought, two more attach onto that negative thought, then more start to attach onto that negative thought. So now you start spiraling into a whole nest of negative thoughts. So to change that, you have to become conscious. And then with the fact that you're conscious, you can now start to change your thoughts. And then, as I mentioned, as you change your thoughts, it changes your feelings, which changes your actions, and you start to take inspired actions to do something. And inspired action can look like going to a certain meeting or going to a certain event or going to certain things, which we'll talk about more later. Let me not get ahead of myself. But yeah, so I hope that kind of makes sense as to how kind of like manifestation works. Like if we are unconsciously manifesting certain things, now that you've heard this, or maybe other people have talked about it to you, we can now begin to manifest consciously. So people have become conscious manifestors because they understand how their mind and how their brain works. And now they're able to condition their mind to align to what it is that they desire. So they begin to act like the thing they want and take inspired action towards their desires. So remember, anyone can manifest, but you have to become aware of what you're doing wrong to help you figure out what to do right. Awareness is key to everything. We spoke about this. Awareness is literally going to be the main theme of Living Pieces. It's bringing awareness to the different areas and to the different aspects of your life that causes you to do the things that you do, and will help you to hopefully begin to change those things if you want to change those things. Everything is free will. No one's asking you to do anything you don't want to do. Please, do what you think is best for you. But essentially, it is there to help you if you want to change, to become aware, to notice the things that you don't like so that you can change them. So, when you become aware that the life you want isn't the life you're living, you have the opportunity to change so you can get the life you want. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I'll say that again. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't change the way you live, you won't change the way you live. You will live the same life over and over again. You have to change something, right? To be able to change the outcome. Change the input, get a different result. So, let's start at the beginning and go through some of the things you can do to begin manifesting or creating the life you desire. The first thing is identify the areas in your life you don't like, right? That's usually easy because you'll be frustrated by that thing. More time, you'll be annoyed, you'll be angry, you frustrated, irritated, just all of the negative emotion, jealous even. What's the other one? Guilt, fearful. Yeah, those negative emotions. If you're feeling that in a certain area, of course, we use the work analogy. It can be anything. It could be the way you look. I broke it down into different stages last time, so definitely go back and check that out. Some of them was like relationships and family and home life, environment, all that type of stuff. So identify the area in your life that you don't like, and then look at the conditioning of your mind in that area. This is where the self-talk comes in. What are the sort of things that you start to say or say to yourself in those areas? Like, I'm not good enough. This isn't working. This is annoying. This is frustrating. This is not looking the way I want it to be. Why am I always failing? Why am I always surrounded by X amount of people, this type of people? Why do I always, find myself in this state, in this place? Whatever it is, begin to look at the condition of your mind. If you struggle with that, you may need a therapist, or you may need to find a method and a way to be able to analyze. Usually journaling can help because you're pouring out your thoughts onto paper, and then you can read it back and actually be like, oh, wait, okay, I'm identifying some things here. But a lot of people, one of the things that may be for you, and if it isn't, that's fine, but it's the idea of not feeling worthy. Not feeling worthy to get the desire that they want, that you want. That's one of the reasons. You think that this thing is out of your reach. This thing isn't made for you. And that's conditioned by your childhood. you've been conditioned since you were young to think that people like you don't get things like that. People like me don't get the nice house, the fancy car, the great job, the nice salary, the whatever it is. People like me aren't good enough to get that. That's probably some of the things that runs through your head. And then your environment, other external things. You know, maybe you grew up with parents or people or friends telling you you're not good enough. You're not worthy enough. You will never be much. You will never be better than me. You will never get what it is that you want. You're a failure. You're a mess. You probably heard those types of words growing up. You probably said it to yourself. You probably heard it from others. It mirrored each other. So now the condition of your mind is that of I am unworthy. I can't get this thing. Why should somebody like me have this? Right? That's probably some of it. And if there's more, again, find a therapist, find someone that can help you, a healer, a practitioner that can sit with you and break down some of the things that you've been through and, find the way it is that you've been conditioned. Find the condition, right? So once you've done those things, because you've been able to break them down, you now want to see yourself as the person who has the things that you want. One of the ways you can do that is vision boards. Vision boards help you because you can see it. You can create vision boards on your phone. You can print them out, stick them on your wall. Anything. But something that helps you see the life that you want, that helps you see the person that you want to be. Right? So that's one of the ways. And also find a method. This is part of the same step, to be fair. Find a method that helps you align to that person. So you've seen it, now you want to align. That's the internal part. So you want to align to the person that has your desires. And this, more things, is journaling somewhere. Writing things down. How does that person speak, talk, look, feel, act? Right? Visualize it. Visualize how they do all of those things. Affirmations. Saying them. Because when you say them out loud, you're saying them like the thoughts, the words are coming out and feeding back. They're looping back into your head. So if you can say things like, I'm stupid, then you can say things like, I'm amazing, I'm smart. You can, because why is it that it's acceptable to say I'm stupid, but to say I'm smart feels silly? Now think about it, because I don't get it. It's okay to say I'm stupid, but when you now want to say I'm smart, everybody, you just laugh at yourself because you just expect, it's like you expect yourself to be stupid. We have to change that, because if you keep saying you're stupid, you will keep making stupid decisions. And again, I talked about it last time, but this is in the case of you saying it constantly. Yes, once, even you shouldn't really be saying it once or twice, but we're humans. We do things. So, maybe I'm stupid may come out of your mouth a couple of times, but it's when it's like it's an everyday thing. I'm stupid every single day. That's when it becomes an issue. So if you're someone who says those type of things, you now have to start saying other types of things, like I'm smart, I'm brilliant, I'm intelligent, all these type of words. So affirmations help in those regards, and affirmations in itself breaks into certain parts as well, but we'll just focus on affirmations. You can find affirmations online, certain things that will just help you just to kind of start feeding your mind positive food. That just came to you. But basically, if you keep feeding your mind unhealthy food, you can't expect yourself to be healthy. You have to feed your mind healthy food if you want a healthy mind. Simple formats, right? That's how the mind works. The mind isn't trying to trick you. It's not trying to be like, oh, feed me all this dirty junk stuff, but yeah, I'm going to be healthy for you just because, right? No, it's going to be like, feed me healthy. I will give out healthy. Simple, right? Other things you can do, meditation. Meditation calms your mind. Meditation is also easy. Meditation is literally just sitting with your thoughts and accepting them as they are, letting them move on, and then letting the good thoughts flow. Just being in a state of acceptance and in a state of flow, right? Another thing is going to networking events. Finding other people in your lane or in the things that you want. Aligning yourself to other people who are doing what it is that you want to do already. And then watching other people talk about the topic or the thing and the desire that you wish to have. So if you want to do real estate, for example, watch success stories of people who are in real estate and how it is that they got to where they are now. Watch one person, watch another person, or follow the journey of the one that resonates with you the most. Look at how they started their business. Go to networking events about business, about the things that you need. If you feel like, oh, you're working a 9 to 5 and whatnot, sometimes some certain sacrifices have to be made for you to get the life that you want. So maybe that evening you were going to go out with the boys or with the girls and just, party. But you decided, there's a networking event coming on. Let me actually go to this event because this is going to be helpful to me. This is going to help me. Right? So go to that event. Because when you are at the point and the stage that you want to be, going out with your friends, it's going to be easy. It's going to be fun. You're probably going to enjoy it because you can actually relax. Instead of being, spending time with your friends trying to be numb and whatnot, but knowing that in the back of your mind, your life isn't the way that you want it to be. Right? Another thing is social media. Utilize social media. We look at the negative too easily, but it's time we try to look at the positives. There are positive things on social media. It just depends on what you're focusing on. Where is your focus at? Are you focused on the negative things or are you focusing on the positive, helpful things? On social media, there are going to be people who are doing the things that you want. For example, if you're into dance, follow accounts that are dancing, that are doing moves that you like to see. It sounds simple and it sounds easy, but yet some people don't do these things. So follow those accounts, do those things, and just follow their journey and keep watching them. And then the next step is begin making your own decisions and choices. This is where the inspired action comes in, because what you've done is you've changed your thoughts. You have watched people visualize, which is actually brought out the feeling, because it's not the visualization that's important. It's the feeling that's important. It's the feeling that the visualization brings out. That is what's important. So when you get yourself to that feeling, you now start to want to make inspired action. So now you start to make decisions. And hear me, when you're first starting out, you might make the wrong decisions. Even with a mentor, even with people, you watching other people's stories and other people's lives and their journey and things like that, you are still going to make your own mistakes as you go along. It doesn't mean give up. It doesn't mean fail. If those people that you watched never made the mistakes that they made, do you think that they will be where they are today? No, they wouldn't. But they carried on. They kept going. So when you start making actions and decisions, you may make mistakes. That's okay. Pick yourself up, get up, and keep going. I sound very passionate about this right now. I'm listening to my head. I'm listening to myself. I'm like, wow. Yes, I'm passionate. But that's because I care about you. I care about you guys. I want you guys to start creating the life that you want. Anyone can do it. You do it already unconsciously. So why not consciously start to create the life that you desire? So make decisions of the person you want to become. Doing this builds momentum, which I will talk about in a second. But doing that helps you to be the person you want to be, because you're aligning yourself to that. You're closing the gap to that. You don't just wake up one day and be a millionaire. Well, technically you will when you look at it in hindsight. But truly, for you to wake up becoming or being a millionaire, you would have had days prior leading up to that day. So you would have had moments, steps that would have helped you reach that point. You get there in increments, right? And then change your environment is the next step. If you can't physically change your environment, because it's not easy to just up and leave where you are, introduce new things into your environment. Bring new things there. Find groups of people who are successful at the things you want and join them. Change your community, even if it's an online community. Change that. Whatever it is that you need to do to change your external environment, do that, as well as you changing your internal environment. And that comes from the way we think and visualization and all that type of stuff, right? So change your environment. So what you want to do is then create the snowball effect where you build momentum. And the things you want can't help but come to you when you do that. You become so inspired and you take inspired action that success finds you wherever you go. You begin to meet people who want to help you reach your goals. You go to places where doors begin opening for you. You talk to people, you visit places, you just do things that will help you. You go online and you read this book, and you go online and you hear this podcast. You go online and you see someone doing something that inspires you, that gives you inspiration, that makes you think, okay, how maybe I can implement this into my business, or implement this into my life, or implement this into something that is going to help me get what it is that I want. Inspired action. And then the momentum, the snowball effect, it just starts taking on a whole life of its own. It starts becoming your new conditioning, your new conditions, like your new environment. Your brain starts firing at different rates of, okay, let's get her this, let's get her that, let's get him that, let's get him this, let's do this, let's do that. Okay, right? And then when you start doing those things, that's when you can say the law of attraction comes into place, because like calls onto like. Like calls onto like. So if I am something, then I can attract that thing, because I am already that thing. Does that make sense? So I don't want to talk too much on law of attraction, but essentially that kind of is what happens. You're attracting what you are because you are the same vibrational and energetic frequency as the thing that you want. If you feel depressed and whatnot, it's the energy that you are giving out. You're giving out the energy of depression and sadness and all these type of things. So that is what keeps coming to you. You keep seeing things that will make you more depressed, that will make you more sad, that will make you more anxious, that will make you more fearful. So when you start to change your frequency and your vibrational, state, then you start to attract things on that level. You start to attract an environment, a people, a community, a lifestyle of the things that you want. right? Anyone can manifest. Everyone does manifest. But we all live a life based on the conditionings of our mind. And if you want to live the life of your choosing, you have to rewire your mind and change the conditionings to get what you desire. I hope those steps helped. I hoped you now understand a little bit about manifesting and manifestation. It's not necessarily this woo-woo thing. It's about making our thoughts give us this feeling, which give us action to help us manifest what it is that we want. That's the desires, to help us get our desires. Right? So manifestation is bringing to life our desires with our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Yeah. So I hope this helped. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. If you have any questions, do reach out. Let me know. And yeah. So you can find me on all social media platforms, by the way, on Living Pieces, at Living Pieces. Yeah, just search us up. You'll find us. Yeah. I hope this has helped. I can't wait to come back and speak to y'all, even though I'm just speaking to myself, but I'm speaking to y'all next time. I've been Ruth. This has been Living Pieces, together creating a masterpiece. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode. Do share it with someone if you found it valuable and if it did help you. So yeah, thanks for listening. Until I see you, I'm not seeing you, but you will hear from me. That's what we're trying to say. Until I hear from you next, or until you hear from me next, stay blessed, don't stress, and I will catch you after the test. Bye!